Some names are bigger than the game itself. Michael Jordan, he wasn't just a basketball player, he was a global icon. Sneakers, posters, commercials, the Be Like Mike phenomenon. But here's the question no one ever really asks. Would Michael Jordan have become Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen? Because when the spotlight fades and you look past the highlight reels, the truth hits hard. Jordan never won a single championship without Pippen, and yet Scottie has spent his entire life being remembered as the sidekick. But if you dig into the details, if you study the numbers, the behind-the-scenes drama, and the bitter fallout, the story flips. Maybe Jordan didn't make Pippen. Maybe Pippen made Jordan. This is the story of brotherhood, betrayal, and basketball's greatest dynasty, and how it was built on the back of a man history refuses to crown. When Jordan gave his Hall of Fame speech in 2009, it wasn't warm and fuzzy. He came for everyone, rivals, coaches, even teammates. But buried in the fire was a moment of honesty. The first name he thanked was Scottie Pippen. You never just saw me, you saw Scottie Pippen. That wasn't just a throwaway line. That was Jordan admitting something he rarely ever did publicly, that he needed help. Before Pippen, Jordan was spectacular, but limited. He won MVPs, dunk contests, and scoring titles, but he was also stuck in quicksand. The Celtics knocked him out. The bad boy Pistons bullied him. As great as Jordan was, the Bulls weren't contenders. Then came the 1987 draft, when Chicago traded for a lanky kid from Central Arkansas named Scottie Pippen. He wasn't hyped like Jordan. He wasn't even supposed to be a star. But by his second year, it was clear he was the missing piece. Pippen had the length, speed, and instincts to defend the best players in the world. He was unselfish, willing to move the ball, and most importantly, he didn't need the spotlight. He let Jordan be Jordan. That balance is what tuned Chicago from a sideshow into a dynasty. Let's be real, Scottie Pippen might be the most underrated all-around player in NBA history. At 6 foot 8 inches tall with freakish wingspan, he could guard anyone. Point guards, shooting guards, forwards, even centers in a pinch. He made all defensive first team 8 straight years, 10 overall. His defense was suffocating. Ask Magic Johnson, who got shut down in the '91 finals when Pippen took over the assignment from Jordan. And it wasn't just defense. Pippen averaged 5.2 assists per game for his career. More than Larry Bird. More than Kobe Bryant. More than Dwayne Wade. He could initiate the offense in the triangle, making reads Jordan didn't want to make. Phil Jackson said it plainly. Scottie was the second best player in the league. Not the best sidekick. The second best player, period. Look at his numbers from the peak Bulls years. 20 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals a night. And he did it all while guarding the other team's superstar. Jordan was the closer, but Pippen was the engine. And that's what history ignores. Jordan could score, but Pippen could do everything. The biggest proof of all came when Jordan walked away. In 1993, fresh off 3 straight championships, Jordan stunned the world by retiring to play baseball. Everyone assumed the Bulls dynasty was over. Without Michael, how could Chicago compete? And then Pippen stepped into the driver's seat. That year, he led the Bulls to 55 wins, just 2 fewer than the season before with Jordan. He averaged 22 points, nearly 9 rebounds, 5.6 assists, and almost 3 steals. He finished 3rd in MVP voting, won the All-Star Game MVP, and was named first-team All-NBA and All-Defense. The Bulls pushed the Knicks to 7 games in the Eastern Conference semifinals, and it took a questionable foul call on Pippen for Chicago to lose. They were that close to the conference finals without Jordan. Meanwhile, every playoff run Jordan had before Pippen, losses, sweeps, first-round exits. The truth was undeniable. Jordan never won without Scottie. But Scottie? He proved he could win without Jordan. Fast forward to 2020. The world shuts down, sports vanish, and then Netflix drops The Last Dance. On the surface, it was a documentary about the Bulls dynasty. In reality, it was a Michael Jordan production. Nothing made the final cut without his approval, and the result was predictable. a crown placed firmly on MJ's head, while everyone else was cast as supporting actors. Steve Kerr, barely recognized as the most accurate three-point shooter ever. Horace Grant, dismissed as a role player instead of a defensive anchor. Tony Kukoc, portrayed as an afterthought despite being the best European player of his generation. Ron Harper, practically erased. Even Dennis Rodman, treated more like a Vegas sideshow than the greatest rebounder of all time. And Pippen? He got it the worst. The doc framed his 1997 ankle surgery as selfish. It glossed over the fact that Jordan was making $33 million that year, while Pippen was earning $2.7 million. It told his story of hardship and sacrifice, then pivoted right back to Jordan as if Scottie's rise was just another subplot in someone else's movie. For fans, The Last Dance was salvation during the pandemic. For Pippen, it was betrayal. After the final episode aired, Jordan texted him, "What's up, dude? Hearing you're upset. Love to talk." They spoke. Pippen publicly downplayed it. "We'll be friends forever." But inside, he was furious. By 2021, Pippen let it all out in his autobiography, Unguarded, and he didn't hold back. He accused Jordan of cheating him out of $100 bets by bribing staff on who would win pregame Jumbotron races. He called Jordan selfish for retiring to play baseball right in the middle of the Bulls' prime. He dismissed the flu game, saying his own finals performance with a herniated disc was even tougher. And the biggest bombshell? We didn't win 6 championships because of Michael. We won in spite of him. This was the man Jordan once called his brother. Now he was rewriting history. Pippen went even further, flipping the GOAT debate. He said LeBron James was the true greatest player ever because LeBron played the game the right way, passing, rebounding, defending, not hijacking the offense for stats. He even went as far as to say Jordan ruined basketball. That in the 1980s, kids shared the ball, but by the 90s, everyone wanted to be like Mike. Take every shot, hog every possession, make the game about me instead of we. And he wasn't wrong. Pippen didn't just stop at Jordan. He accused Phil Jackson of racial bias for drawing up a final play for Tony Kukoc instead of him. He blasted Charles Barkley as lazy. He called Isaiah Thomas a dirty player. It became clear Pippen wasn't just venting, he was burning bridges. And through it all, Jordan said nothing. No interviews, no clapbacks, just silence. And from Jordan, silence is the coldest cut of all. By 2022, the drama got personal. Michael's son, Marcus Jordan, started dating Pippen's ex-wife, Larsa. The headlines exploded. For Pippen, it wasn't just betrayal anymore, it was humiliation. Think about it. For decades, he lived in Jordan's shadow. On the court, in the media, in the culture. And now, in his personal life, the Jordan name was back in his face. This time through his ex. Wherever Scottie turned, Michael was there. The shadow never left. So let's cut the noise. Who really needed who? Jordan was the scorer, the closer, the brand. But before Pippen, he couldn't get out of the first round. With Pippen, 6 rings, 6 finals, undefeated on the biggest stage. Pippen, meanwhile, proved he could carry a team without Jordan. He proved he could defend anyone, run the offense, and win 55 games as the star. And the stats back it up. Pippen is the only player in NBA history with at least 2,000 steals, 7,000 rebounds, and 6,000 assists. Jordan's playoff record without Pippen? A losing one. With Pippen? 6-0 in the finals. That's not a coincidence. That's reality. History crowned Michael Jordan the GOAT, but maybe history got it wrong. Because the banners in Chicago don't just belong to Jordan, they belong to Scottie. The dynasty wasn't built by one man. It was built by balance, fire and ice, ego and sacrifice, closer and creator. And if we're being real, Jordan didn't make Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen made Michael Jordan. So I'll leave you with this. Was Michael Jordan really the greatest? Or was he just the greatest beneficiary of the man standing in his shadow?